So what's going on? What's going on? I'll tell you, this is a little overwhelming, but yet it's going to be cool building this van. Um, you get in there, spending more and more time, you start discovering things more detail that you just don't see, and how in the hell I'm going to do all this. I realized today that like the wall panels I want to use, can't do those. I was looking at FRP wall paneling. It's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. I'm going to have to probably go back to like the 1/8" flexible plywood that's very lightweight. We got to try to keep weight down in this thing. Now, the cool thing I did discover was, and I may show some video of one here in the middle of this, but the cool thing is I had panels already in there, and I've got enough gap I can insulate, pop those panels back in, and on the bottom half, those panels stay in. On the top half, the panel will go back in, but I'll put that wall paneling over it, and I might can double insulation in there or leave it be, have a gap. I'll just wait till I do that. The tricky thing is going to be the ceiling. We get that vent fan in, I'm gonna have to frame around the vent fan, and the way the frame around that vent fan is going to be when we're screwing in from the top, is have the wood held and screw into that wood where it pulls it in and frames in, and it's screwing in as well to the metal and mounting that fan. So it's going to have something for that ceiling to bite into. So that's going to happen on that deal. Tricky part is in the front of the van towards where the cab is, and to the very back I've got lighting. I'm going to show a video here. I've got lighting I didn't even know I had in this van. It's unbelievable. I was sitting there pulling panels, and I'm looking at, what's this thing? Looks like a little silver sensor, like a button. And I was looking down. I'm waiting for something to unlock, and I hit it, and all of a sudden these lights come on, and these LED strips. They were, holy cow, I've got the lighting in my van here, it's unbelievable. But problem is I got to keep it connected to the van because they have some sort of a sensor module in it, and I don't want to mess with that. I'm going to have to pull the panel and take that button, extend the wire, then take that button and maybe mount it closer towards the entrance of the van where the cabinet's going to be right there. So where I can hit that button, and that's a light to go in, and that light will turn off eventually. So it's just not pitch black when you're getting in your vehicle and you don't know where the switch is. That's the initial switch can turn and they are insanely bright. I could not believe it. Total surprise. But the surprise was those wall panels that pop in. There's little plastic little holders, the little rivets, the little, you know what I'm talking about, those little plastic tabs to hold the wall paneling in. Those things are, those panels are amazing. I'm just going to pop them back in because in the back and the bottom, my bed is covering the top of that. It's just a little garage area, so why do it? I'll get all that insulated and the wheel wells taken care of, and I'm probably going to make a little box over the wheel wells anyway, so get that insulated. It'll be a sound deadening for all that stuff. So one little thing at a time. But the first fixture that's going in that vehicle after we get this plan is going to be that bed. And we're going to work, around that bed in my workspace. So that's all mapped out beautifully on that deal. So this stuff's just overwhelming a little bit, but I love it. It's cool. It's going to be an adventure. I've got a buddy of mine is going to help me do this a little bit. He's going to help me with the cuts, and it's going to be a new experience for him as well. But he's better on the cuts with the wood and doing the flooring, and he's got that experience. So that's where he's going to come to play, and we'll set little bits of time here to get all that done with him. We can knock the flooring out in no time. We can knock the walls and the ceiling out. But key is trying to work around, after I get it insulated and the initial done, is working around how we're going to do all that with the fixtures. And I know where everything's going to be placed. It's just there's a couple things that are tricky. We got to get that AC unit. When I get that, I'm going to have to get these guys here to weld plates and then screw the compressor up under the van, that cruise and comfort. And there's 2 lines that are going to go in. We'll have to drill holes through the flooring with grommets to seal, and then they come in, and it's just one box and the thermostat. So once we get it in there, I got a buddy of mine that will charge it up and we'll get it connected and running. He's a refrigeration guy, so no better person than that to help you get that done. So I'll probably give him $100, $200. And if I know him, he's probably go, man, you don't owe me any money, man. Nice guy, love him to death. But I gotta give him something for doing this. I mean, but we'll see. That's the AC and the power, the big power stuff. I'm gonna wait. It's gonna be a big purchase. So I have to wait till this RV sells. So in the meantime, I want to get all of the insulation. I want to get all the walls. I want to get everything done around it. I want to get that bed built. That bed those aren't going to be crazy expensive items, in the grand scheme of things. The way I do that bed frame is going to be interesting. It's going to be unique. It's going to be all metal framing. And I know how I want it in my mind and how it's going to be, but there's always hiccups and little bumps in the road. And we'll work around those little bumps in the road. That's not going to be a problem. I'm just trying to use as little wood as possible. Even though that's heavy metal, it's less in its framing that the bed platform will go on, because we'll take furniture plywood, we'll put it in, I'll drill little holes, 5/16 holes for the carriage bolts, and we'll bolt it down. But we'll, one thing that I try to stay away from is painting, and I did not want to get into painting. God, I hate it, but I have no way around it. It's inevitable. We're going to have to, on the top panels of the walls, are going to have to be that little 1/8" plywood, like a birch or something that's flexible. I'm going to have to sand it down, and we have to put a couple coats of maybe a nice high gloss white or something with a good clear coat or something on it, so I can clean it easily and not have to worry about, anything soaking into it. Something that's going to protect it. And paint it a nice white. But I'm going to paint all that stuff before I get into the van, because we are not painting in that van. The only thing I'll be doing in that van is touch-up paint if I have to. We're going to have the panels painted and ready to go cut, and we'll screw them in when they're painted. Also, the metal pieces of that bed frame, I'm probably going to take a nice Rust-Oleum high gloss white, and I'm going to paint those. It'll look better than just that dirty-looking metal framing, but that might not be something I want to do. It might be something that's not even, doesn't even matter, because you're not going to see it. There'll be a wall up front, and it'll be the bed over the top. But I don't know. I might do this shit anyway. Who knows? But anyway, it's just getting that thing insulated and trying to map out how we're going to do this with the walls and the ceiling. It's not a really level situation. It kind of curves a little bit, and I see people putting all these furring strips. There's a couple places I'm going to have to put those furring strips, those little 1-inch furring strips to bite the ceiling and the walls into. I have no choice. I've got to do it. But I've got to get the plus nuts in the framing where these fixtures are going to bolt in, because this is going to be to where everything is bolts in. It can unbolt, and I can move it around, and I can pull panels and do what I've got to do if I have to get anything out of there. So that's one step at a time. So right now it's going to be, I'm going to do the template on the floor. I'm going to get everything insulated. I'm going to work on how that structure is going to go, everything level for the walls, because I'm thinking, the panels curve up, they're going to come up, and I'm going to have to kind of put them up at an angle and bolt them into the frame, or I'm just going to have to do a straight wall and do a furring strip, and there's a bigger gap. And that bigger gap is probably nothing wrong with that. That bigger gap can help, with insulation, because I put the wall panel in. If I've got insulation in there, I can put some reflectix against the inside of that wall panel, and I've got a gap every bit of 1 inch, for reflectix. If you're not touching metal, that gap is really going to help with that heat barrier. Again, I'll have the initial, but there'll be another heat barrier. And of course, that people say, well, you over-insulated, you don't want to trap all that heat in there. If you have good ventilation, which this fan already does, and you have a good AC system, you're not going to trap that heat on there. I mean, this RV here really is just insulated with just solid core foam and a foil layer over the outside. There's a foil layer over the outside, and probably on the inside where the walls go over. It's really just, these are just bonded. I call it bonded. Winnebago calls it something else, but they roll a laminate on the outside. But these walls are built by hardcore metal framing, and it's all one piece. It's like, well, I say one, but 4 or 5 pieces, and they built this thing out with the framing. So don't have the machinery or equipment to be doing that crap, and I'm not doing polyiso board. That's such a pain in the ass. That's another thing it's a pain. We're doing wool, and we're going to do this thermo liner, and I think that's going to pretty much do the trick. Wool has amazing qualities, and I've read a lot about it, how it will be another heat and vapor barrier, and also, you know, insulate very efficiently. So it won't mold mildew, and it won't retain the moisture. It'll release it. It will dry. So anyway, I'll keep you guys posted. I'm going to shoot some more videos as I'm doing this the best I can. I get so my mind on so much, it's kind of hard to keep up with that. But I may try to get in a tripod and get maybe roll some camera footage as I'm doing, or just kind of do as I'm going along, take some shots and kind of quickly explain it. So anyway, I'm out. I've got a lot of stuff rolling in my mind here. I'm trying to map out with my music for the year and get myself started on that and some of the other things I got to do, but we're going to get it done. Going to get it done because I got a trip to take this summer. I want to do it, and we're going to make that happen. Got to get the RV sold before we do. Be cool. I'm out.